Mr. Özdemir, thank you so much for joining us in Palermo for the Medor Talks and for the convening of the very prestigious international board. We're very happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to have you here, and thank you so much for your invitation.
Fabulous. So let's start by talking a little bit about Turkish and Italian relations, especially as this has been the focus of a lot of the panel discussions and the conversation that we had yesterday. And so how do you see the evolution of Italian and Turkish relations with regards to risks in the region?
So Turkey and Italy are two countries that sit at the heart of the Mediterranean. Both of us face the same risk, migration pressure, energy insecurity, and climate changes. By working together, we can reduce these risks in a few concentrated ways. First, on immigration, when we look at the immigration, Italy is often a destination while Turkey is the first point of entry. We host almost 3 million refugees. If we align our approaches from the humanitarian support to border management, we can make migration more safe and more fair, while avoiding irregular flows that create instability. Second, on energy security, we can focus on the energy security, I think so.
Yeah.
And Turkey is building pipelines and gas corridors that bring energy from the Caspian, the Middle East, and the East Mediterranean into Europe. Italy is one of the main entry points for these flows. If we cooperate, we can make the Mediterranean a safe and reliable energy route, which helps not only our countries, but also the wider European Union.
Yeah.
Third, on maritime safety and trade, I emphasize that. Both Turkey and Italy depend on the open sea routes for trade and prosperity. Joint naval exercises, Coast Guard cooperation, and technology sharing can reduce pricey smuggling and illegal fishing. And lastly, I would like to say, and climate change. The Mediterranean is one of the regions most affected by global warming, as you know. Rising sea levels, desertification, and both Turkey and Italy face these risks directly. Turkey has launched important projects such as the Zero Waste Initiative led by our First Lady, which has been recognized internationally and even adopted by the United Nations, as you know. Cooperation with Italy in this field can help us share best practices, develop new technologies, and protect our environment for the next generation.
Fabulous. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of cooperation and a lot of shared problems, but also a lot of shared solutions together.
Yeah.
And I think, the conversations over the last couple of days have really highlighted the dynamic element of these bilateral relations, but also the regional blocks. And I think that's kind of one of the things I'm curious about as well, is how do you think the kind of the regional players can de-risk some of the common threats that they have, particularly with regards to cybersecurity and misinformation, and we're living very much in this age of disinformation, and it's a problem that all of these countries and governments need to be able to tackle.
Yeah, so Turkey is the frontline country for European security, and this is true in many areas, as you mentioned it. First, in counterterrorism, when we look at the counterterrorism, Turkey has been fighting terrorist organizations like Daesh, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and PKK for many years. By doing so, we protect our own citizens, but also European societies too, because terrorism does not respect the borders.
Yeah.
Second, in migration management, part of the security side, I believe so. Turkey hosts almost 3 million refugees, as I mentioned that, from Syria and other countries. Without this effort, Europe would face much higher migration pressure. Our cooperation with EU shows how Turkey is a partner in responsibility. I would like to emphasize different points, NATO and defense. Turkey has the second largest army in NATO and contributes to mission from the Balkans to Middle East. Our position in the Black Sea is also vital for European defense, especially after the war in Ukraine. Everybody see that.
Yeah.
And beyond size, Turkey defense power is also one of the most modern and fast developing. In recent years, we have built strong national defense industries, including advanced drones, naval systems, and air defense technologies, which are now recognized worldwide. This rapid progress makes Turkey not only a consumer, but also a provider of security capabilities for the alliance and for the wider region.
Yeah, and I think that's the very powerful thing about Turkey, as well as the industrial base and the strength of that economy and the partners that it has in the region and globally, and obviously being in Palermo and being with representatives of over 20 countries in the Med in this region. I think it's a really strong convening power to be able to have these discussions and to form new relationships as well towards these ends. Thank you very much, Mr. Özdemir. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.